Support. Give us a subscribe. Help me reach 500 subs by August 4th. The camera is looking extremely foggy today. Hello and welcome. I'm your Grumpy Guide to all things gaming, the OGGM, with another OGGM adventure in the world of news. Yes, I know we missed the new camera. I spent all that money on the new camera, only to find out, due to the logistics, it doesn't work with my computer. I have no space for it. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Buy me a new computer. Anyways, it's Monday. We know what that means. It's time to take a look at what's going on in the world of our hobby, role-playing. So, we have already talked about this, but the 5e Kickstarter for Here Be Dragons from Ian is live right now and apparently doing pretty well. I guess. I don't know. Okay. Wizards of the Coast has released a new Unearthed Arcana playtest packet for draconic options, new variants of the Dragonborn, and a playable version of kobolds. Guess because that's just what we need in D&D, another mischievous teeny race stealing things from the other party members. So yes, just if you don't like your Dragonborn the way it is and you want a couple extra flavors to your Dragonborn, Wizards of the Coast is playtesting some new rules for it, which means there'll be another splat book coming on with all these playtest rules, which means, again, all those people who bought Tasha's and expected that to be the end-all be-all of all the changes, and nope, they are never going to stop messing around with 5th edition. What does that mean? I guess that means they didn't expect 5th edition to be what it was. 5th edition isn't as finished as they thought it was going to be. I don't really know why they feel the need to keep playtesting and tweaking and adding new things to the game. Every time they do this, they make previous product pointless, like Tasha's and Volo's and the other one. And then you just know that there's going to be an inevitable new product that you're going to have to buy. It's $75 with all these things in it. And then the second you buy that, they're going to be playtesting new things, making the purchase of this thing you just bought pointless. I mean, I never intended to buy Tasha's. I didn't see the reason for Tasha's. I felt everything I needed was already in the stuff I had. I mean, you know, and why buy something if all this stuff is already online for free, especially with the inevitable that we know everything pretty much is going online anyways with the game, and nobody really uses books, or at least most of the people don't use books. They look like this. They do. Oh, and my phone. I don't have my phone, so I'm using this. Oh, I gotta look up what my character does. So beep, 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 beep. Hold on. Yeah, okay, yeah. So, I mean, right now it feels like books are a thing of the past anyways. So everything that was on Tasha's was already online, and now since Tasha's came out, there's a whole bunch of new stuff online making Tasha's pointless, and making the point of doing this, testing it, seeing if it's going to work, and then a new book will come out, and then the second that book comes out, it'll be rendered pointless because they're going to keep play testing. So I don't really understand this other than okay. And speaking of TSR, Jeff Grubb has announced the upcoming release of his lost source book for the known world of Mystara for TSR. Tesara was one of the default settings for 2nd edition and early 3rd edition. It was sort of a Spain Age of Exploration inspired role-playing setting. It was lots of fun. There was lots of good stuff in Mystara. So Wizards of the Coast has given permission to Jeff Grubb to be released. It's going to be on his website and the official Mystara homepage. The initial idea behind the book was to default the setting for the basic Dungeons & Dragons and Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd edition setting. But the scope has repeatedly changed, blah, blah, blah. So, yes. Announcement from Paranoia. Friend Computer has authorized this columnist to inform you that Mongoose Publishing released a new supplement for the role-playing game Paranoia. So, yes, nice to see some new stuff coming out from Paranoia. Oh, new information on Frame. If you remember, we talked about Frame a few weeks ago. where this guy wanted to make a role-playing game inspired by Warframe, and he got so much ugly, toxic responses that he just went screw it and decided to do something else. Instead, he's releasing it called Lunan. Lunan is inspired by Warframe and Destiny, but also doesn't have anything to do with Warframe after all the toxicity he received. It's available free for download. So it's a looter-shooter type adventure setting. It's called Lumen, Lumen. He's going to be playtesting it in June online if you want to participate in it. So it's if you want a looter-shooter, top-down, Diablo, Warframe, Destiny-inspired, really fast role-playing game, check it out. It's called Luma. You can get it on from Campbell's website or from itch.io to encourage creators. And there will be a playtest of it in June. Gamma has announced that they will be returning in 2022 for a hybrid of online and in-person format from March 14th through 18th. It will take place in Reno at the Peppermill Resort and Casino, but it will also have online stuff. An agreement has finally been made over the rights to the animes Macross and the re-edited localization Robotech. This has been going on for decades between Harmony Gold, the people who own the rights to Super Dimension Fortress Macross, the other two series that Harmony Gold mashed up to become Macross Robotech. Harmony Gold says they have the rights. Other people have said they have the rights. There's a legal battle between BattleTech and MechWarrior. There was a legal battle between Macross. It's just been a confusing hubble of just who owns the rights to Robotech. So right now it seems like it's been saddled, and everybody is at least happy for the moment. So hopefully that means we will either see Robotech back in the States in some form online, because that was like one of the most groundbreaking TV shows of the late 70s, early 80s. I mean, I remember running home every day from school just to see Macross Robotech. So yeah, it'll be nice to see what happens with it. Oh, and Humble Bundle is back. We have a new Humble Bundle this month. Comics and stuff that were licensed to Dungeons & Dragons, including Dragonlance, Baldur's Gate, stuff like that. So if you want to get some digital copies of some hard-to-find Dungeons & Dragons comics, for $25, you can get 32 graphic novels and comics. It'll be benefiting the Hasbro's Children's Fund. Also, the Black Library is back with a collection of novels for Warhammer 40k, 26 novels in the 40k universe for PDF. This bundle benefits the Every Library Institute. All right, so that's our news for the week. Some great news regarding Macross. Some great news regarding Gamma. Always nice to see Paranoia making stuff. Some great news regarding Mystara. Mystara was a great setting. It was the official setting for basic D&D and advanced Dungeons & Dragons before the Forgotten Realms. So it's nice to see that coming out again. And that appears to be all that is going on. There's some articles and hemming and hawing this week about why dungeon crawling is a lost art. Of course, there's a lot more toxicity regarding, the OSR and Wizards of the Coast and D&D, because we can't go a week without some type of controversy or toxicity addressing our hobby. So we will end today's news with a question. If the default setting for fantasy is Hollywood medieval, late medieval plus Tolkien plus Conan is the fantasy default, what is the default science fiction setting? When I say science fiction, what's the first thing that comes to mind? When you say fantasy, the first thing that comes to mind is Tolkien and, King Arthur. But when you say science fiction, What is the default science fiction setting? Is it Star Trek? Is that the first thing that I say that comes to mind when people hear the word sci-fi? Is it Star Wars? Is it Dune? Is it Foundation? Is it cyberpunk? Does sci-fi have a default setting the same way that fantasy sort of has the unwritten default setting of Tolkien, medieval Conan? Interesting question for you to ponder as we bring today's news to a close. If you appreciate this content, like, share, subscribe, support me by going to DM's Guild and picking up my product, the Brazen Beastman of Billswater. Help me hit 500 subs by August 4th, and above all, have a great week. Stay healthy, stay hydrated, stay happy, and get off my lawn, you meddling kid.